was born in the cowards of wood. When the smoke clears, the dust settles down. We'll be the ones left standing on ground. Make your decision, man, enough is step up, level up, get your ass busted up, mess it down. When the smoke clears, the ashes fall down. We'll be the ones left running this town. We're not vigilantes or superheroes. And if you're on the wrong side, we're the ones you wanna know. We've been called bad news and young guns, but we're the ones your mama told you to run for.
Hey everybody, Mr. The Fanboy here. As you can see by the title, this is my review / rant on WrestleMania 33. To tell you the truth, people, this was one of the worst pay-per-views I've ever seen, with the exception of four things on this card. First off, to tell you the truth, it actually isn't the worst thing I've ever seen, but it's once again another disappointing pay-per-view from WWE. Every match on this card, with the exception of two, were okay, average at best. I was bored throughout the show. This show was underwhelming. Underwhelming. There were only 4 things good about this show. And with that being said, let's start off with the pre-show. The pre-show. Of course, you had, after several highlights from Booker T, I keep forgetting who the other 2 people were. Booker T, the first match of the night was Austin Aries. Austin Aries taking on Adrian Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship. This was actually one of the main matches I wanted to be on the card. This is one of the things that actually turned me off to WrestleMania. I didn't even complete my WrestleMania series because I was so angry that Austin Aries and Neville got moved to the pre-show. Pre-show. I wanted them on the card. And I'm even pissed now that they had 2 women's matches on the card over a Cruiserweight Championship match, a title match. But they had 2 lame. Yeah, it's bad enough we had to have 1 women's match. We had 2 terrible women's matches on this card. I don't know if they were terrible because I didn't watch. Like I said, Diva Division is forever buried to me. Excuse me. But let's continue. Phenomenal match. This was an awesome match. Match of the night. Oh, but guess what, people? This was the pre-show. So it's not part of the official televised card. But this was match of the night right here. Or one of the matches of the night. I'm going to get to the second match of the night later in this review. Yeah, this was good. As I predicted, Adrian Neville retained this title after almost 15 to 20 minutes of wrestling and brawling. Adrian Neville hit his finisher for the 1, 2, 3, and that was that. Next was the second match I was looking forward to, which also got bumped to the pre-show, and this made me care about WrestleMania even less. Come to think of it, I was supposed to do a WrestleMania 33, another rant on WrestleMania 33, when I read that this match, the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, another favorite tradition of mine at WrestleMania, which was featured at the last two WrestleManias, well, I think it was undercard for 31 too. But I remember for 32 last year and 30, this was featured, the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. This was boring. This is the second time WWE has done this. How do you mess up a Battle Royal? That's not choreography wrestling. That's not technical wrestling. That's multiple people beating the living daylights out of each other. How do you mess that up? An over-the-top Battle Royal. They did it at the Royal Rumble, and they did it here. And this was worse than the Royal Rumble, because the Royal Rumble at least was good at the end when the big stars came in. when the major stars came in. This was boring. And then the jobber Mojo Rawley wins the Battle Royal. But this was boring. I don't even remember it. It was so boring. I had to click out. Yeah, I tried to watch everything so I could give a in-depth review. I can't do that here because this show was just underwhelming, and this match was boring. I was waiting for it to be over. I clicked out, and let's start the card. The reason this review, by the way, the reason this review is so late is 4:16 a.m. right now, as of me recording this video, is because I actually tried to watch WrestleMania live, but the streams I was on were terrible. They kept stopping and stuff. So I decided to wait till the whole show was over and wait till every link was uploaded here on what's his name. Then the streams were stopping because too many people were on the servers. Too many people were on the servers to the website I go to watch these. So I decided to wait till this was over. So I went to watch this show a second time. I came in during the AJ Styles Shane McMahon match, which was okay. This was okay, but AJ Styles should have been in the Wyatt match, which I'm gonna get to later. This match, it went on way too long, and it was just unrealistic. This was 20 minutes long. This should have been shorter than that. You're trying to tell me 46, he's either 46 or 47, 46-year-old Shane McMahon, who hasn't wrestled in I don't know how long, and is not even a wrestler, can hang with AJ Styles, one of the best technical or mat wrestlers of all time, not overall professional wrestlers. I'm talking skill-wise, mat wrestling, his mat skills. One of the best wrestlers in the business right now. He can hang with AJ. AJ's older, but is still young enough to kick Shane McMahon's butt. And it started off with his name. AJ Styles should have did what he said. He should have embarrassed the crap out of Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon should have been a heavy underdog, which they were doing that, but it went on way too long. There were some cool spots in the match from Shane McMahon, but like I said, it went on way too long. I was waiting for it to be over. I started skipping the match. The match, and AJ Styles won with a forearm. AJ Styles won with a forearm for the 1, 2, 3. Total waste of AJ Styles' talents. This is a pay-per-view match. I'll even give it to say this is a TV/pay-per-view match. A match you would see on television and at one of WWE's lower rated pay-per-views. Not at WrestleMania. What was the next match of the night, man? The next match of the night was, oh yes, Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. Once again, this was okay. A lot of the matches on these cards were just boring brawls. This was okay. The story and build-up before the match were better than the match itself, and then it was predictable. Kevin Owens defeated Jericho for the United States Championship. Nothing to really say right here. And then see Jericho, he said he was leaving after WrestleMania, so that's one of the reasons I really didn't get invested into this match. I figured it was gonna be awesome here. Then Jericho was gonna leave the next day, and Jericho is one of the better things about WWE nowadays. We showed y'all WWE is terrible. Actually, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to this in a minute. But he's one of the better things about WWE. But yeah. And next is what was the next match of the night? Oh yeah, I skipped the women's match. Oh yes, the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match between Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, the Bullet Club, Cesaro and Sheamus, Enzo and Cass, Enzo Amore and Big Cass. But before the match, the New Day came out to announce the return of the Hardys. People, I was going to skip this match. This was one of the matches I was not looking forward to. The Hardy Boys made this match awesome. They took lame television match and made it awesome. Bullet Club, I love the Bullet Club, but WWE has made them boring. WWE has took the greatest thing to happen, the biggest talk of the wrestling business today, and the best thing to happen to professional wrestling today, and made them lame. They are boring. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson are boring in WWE. Then we got Sheamus, who I like but don't care for. Then we got Cesaro. Who on the independent circuit was awesome, but in WWE, he is just terrible now. I was hugely excited for him when he first came, but he is just terrible now. Doing that lame ass swing, those lame uppercuts, and all his PG lame moves. Oh, and Enzo and Cass. I hate these two, man. I hate these two, man. So yeah. But the New Day came out and announced the Hardys, and the Hardys, they made this match awesome. All the cool, memorable spots in the match were done by the Hardys. The crowd was rowdy for them. Yeah, man. Guess what? I don't care if the Hardy Boys won the tag team championship. Your young roster sucks. Like I said, like one guy said, there's a guy on here. I think he calls himself the Tasteless God. He did several reasons why WCW 2000 is better than WWE today. He also does various videos bashing today's WWE current product. And he did a video, and in that WCW 2000 video, he said the WCW wrestlers have a he said the WCW had a complete division. They had a cruiserweight division, they had a mid card, and they had a main event. And their main event wrestlers were full time wrestlers. WWE, that's what WCW had. WCW had a cruiserweight division, a mid card, and a main event. And like I said, their main eventers were full time. They're full time. WWE has a main event and a bunch of jobbers and vanilla midgets. That's what WWE has nowadays. And the main eventers are part time. And that's what you saw here. Only people who were good in the match were the Hardys. I was happy to see them back, and I didn't want them back in WWE. After all the awesome stuff I've seen from them on the independent circuit and TNA, I didn't want them going back to being PG and lame in WWE. TNA did something I didn't expect them to do. They made Matt Hardy, who I've always liked Matt Hardy because he was the better wrestler of the group. He was the better wrestler of the group. But Matt Hardy has always been boring. TNA made him interesting. Matt Hardy, interesting. Jeff Hardy, even though WWE is where he started, WWE, he was PG in WWE. TNA, he was way better with the modest to the top, then the Antichrist of wrestling during his brief heel turn before he messed it up by coming out stone for a pay-per-view, then the similar creatures, one-of-a-kind gimmick, bringing back the Willow character. Willow character is cool, but I like Jeff Hardy more. I like Jeff Hardy as himself. Then the broken gimmick where he was Brother Nero, and the Itchweed character. So like I said, Hardy is Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy is awesome, man. Jeff Hardy. So yeah, but I was happy to see them, and the crowd was too, man. And Jeff Hardy hit a signature swan dive off the ladder. Matt Hardy did his signature twist of fate, I think on Cesaro, off the ladder, and they climbed and got the belts for the 1, 2, 3. Like I said, they made this match awesome. John Cena and Nikki Bella and The Miz and Maurice, I skipped this match, people. Non-sanctioned mixed tag team match. John Cena is usually the worst thing about WrestleMania yeah, he is usually the worst. I don't know when, but he is usually the worst things about WrestleManias. I always boycott his matches. On WrestleMania 30, one of the best WrestleManias ever, he was the worst part of the show. WrestleMania 31, which I hate, he was the worst part of the show. WrestleMania 32, was he at WrestleMania 30? Was he at WrestleMania 32? I don't remember. He is always the worst part of WrestleMania. He was terrible at the worst WrestleMania of all time, 25. His match, which was a three-way between Big Show and Edge, that was so bad, nobody even remembers it. Okay, people at least remember the terrible Randy Orton Triple H, the disappointing Randy Orton and Triple H match, and everything else on the card. Nobody even remembers his three-way triple threat match with Big Show and Edge with Vicky Guerrero in the middle. Nobody remembers that horrible storyline and that garbage match, man. And that garbage match. And I didn't care much for his segment here. And I heard he posed to Nikki Bella, and then who cares? And don't get me started. I hate the Bella twins, man. Even though they have improved, I still hate them. I will always hate them, man. Everything wrong with modern day women's wrestling in WWE, man. Yeah. Yeah. And next was the Seth Rollins versus Triple H match. Like I said, this would have been better if it had been shorter. I'm sick of Triple H and these long 20-minute main event matches. He's trying to be like Flair, wrestling these 20 minutes, but Flair is a way better wrestler. Triple H and can actually have a match that long and can keep you invested. I hate long matches, man. I hate super long matches. I hate super long matches. Unless you get two wrestlers who can keep me invested for the entire time, like Ric Flair in his prime, Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart at WrestleMania 12, young AJ Styles and Daniels, the two Iron Man matches they had back in '05, and all the other signature matches they had. Then of course, the Kurt Angle Brock series, Benoit Guerrero. These people could keep me interested in matches that long. I usually don't like matches that like this long because they usually like to make them fights. If you're gonna make them wrestling, now if you're gonna have a long match but have most of it be technical wrestling, most of it be mat wrestling, technical wrestling, then But if you're gonna have a long match that consists of nothing but punches and finishers, no. Japan does that, but that's the style there. That's their strong style. WWE is just a super long fake fight, man. A super long fake fight. And that's the problem I had with this match. And it was okay. Seth Rollins won, which was great. But like I said, and I told you, I'm a huge Seth Rollins fan, but character-wise and story-wise, great. But he hasn't been doing it for me in the ring lately. And he was with Triple H. If Triple H is not in the ring with the right opponent, he is not going to be good. He has to be in the ring with someone he has chemistry with. And I was skipping parts of this match, and Seth Rollins won with a pedigree, man. Yeah, next match. Oh, yes. Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt for the World Heavyweight Championship. Believe it or not, the end result of this match I'm happy about. Randy Orton is heavyweight champion again. Randy Orton is heavyweight champion again. So now he gets to carry, which is something I always wanted. Well, in order to make wrestling refreshing, back when I still cared about the WWE product, I wanted them to turn John Cena heel and have Randy Orton be the top guy, because at least that's refreshing. We've seen the Cena-Orton feud so many times, but we've never seen it the way it should be, with Cena as a heel and Orton as a babyface. So now Orton gets to carry SmackDown as a babyface one last time before he hangs it up. But this match was terrible. This match was boring. I was waiting for it to be over. They tried to do some theater trick where when Bray Wyatt got the upper hand on Randy Orton, they made the ring look like worms, look like a pit of worms. They used a movie projection which made it like a pit of worms. They made it like a thing of cockroaches later. It was just stupid and distracting. And distracting. It wasn't scary. It was just stupid and distracting. And Randy Orton, after 10 minutes of brawling and near falls and near finishers, Orton finally hits the RKO on Bray Wyatt to win the championship. This match was boring. Like I said, coming to this pay-per-view, this is a SmackDown main event. This is not a WrestleMania match, and this is why AJ Styles was needed in order to make this a three-way. He would have made the match better. Yes, and Bray Wyatt, like I said, I've never been impressed with Bray Wyatt unless he's in the ring with someone like Jericho, Bryan, or hell, even Randy Orton, a good in-ring general. But not even Randy Orton could make him look good in this match. Like I said, just terrible, man. Just terrible, man. Then you got who else? What else on this card? What else on this card? The main event of the night. Oh yes. So yeah. Oh yes. The last match I'm gonna talk about right now. This was the next exciting moment of the night. I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. This, while I wish it was longer, this is what I want to see when you have Brock Lesnar and Goldberg in the ring. Unlike the garbage squash match they had at Survivor Series and Goldberg's poor performance in the Royal Rumble where he quickly eliminated Brock, this is what I wanted to see. This is what I want to see. Brock Lesnar, he controlled most of the match with Goldberg getting desperation spears out of nowhere. He came out strong. 3 badass suplexes on Goldberg. 3 badass suplexes on Goldberg. Then took the time to taunt the crowd, allowing Goldberg to get up and hit a spear, hit another spear, hit a spear. Then Brock Lesnar hit a spear. Then he hit another spear on Brock Lesnar. This time, Brock Lesnar rolled out. One thing I like about this match, they had Brock Lesnar not only win this match, but control it. And this is the way the storyline should have been. See, the storyline between Lesnar and Goldberg has been good. The match is terrible, and while the storyline has been good, they were not telling the right story. Goldberg's return to the ring should have been a complete David and Goliath underdog story. It started off that way, then it turned into some unrealistic comic book stuff with Goldberg dominating Lesnar and making Lesnar almost an underdog, which you're not supposed to do. Which you're not supposed to do. No, Lesnar should have destroyed Goldberg when he came back. With Goldberg, should have destroyed Goldberg. Goldberg has not done anything in the 12 years he had been away from wrestling. And his training and stuff he didn't do anything here. But you're trying to tell me Brock Lesnar, who was in the UFC, was a UFC champion, here wrestling and training every day, to two spears and a jackhammer finishes off Lesnar? Like I said in my Survivor Series 2017 review, complete fakery, faking awful. That's what the title of that review and rant video is called. Survivor Series 2017 review, awful, faking awful. That's what it's called, man. But yeah, then they go outside. Then Lesnar goes outside the ring. Then Goldberg spears him into the barricade, and the crowd was into it. The crowd was into it. They only needed 4 minutes, but I wish it could have went on longer, and we could have saw some punches and some kicks, which I also want to see. And more power moves, which I also want to see. So then spear him through Then we got him back in the ring. Jackhammer. Brock Lesnar surprises everyone and kicks out, and then Goldberg tries it again, but Lesnar later gives him another suplex. Then he finishes him off with the F5 to win the Universal Heavyweight Championship. And this right here is why I call WrestleMania 33 one of the worst shows of all time. People, the part-timers were the best part about this show. The part-timers and there was nothing good from the young roster except for Austin Aries and Neville in the opener, which wasn't even on the main show. The young guys, the guys who were going to be here tomorrow, who were supposed to make you money, they didn't do anything good on this show. It was all about the part-timers. This show was good because of the part-timers. Had they not been here, this show would have been terrible. This show was a Raw. Like I said, I was going to talk about those best moments. The best moments. Brock and Goldberg Universal Championship match. Austin Aries and Neville in the pre-show. Diamond Dallas Page, Kurt Angle, and the Rock and Roll Express and the Von Erich family and the Rick Rude family accepting their Hall of Fame announcements, their Hall of Fame rings or something, their Hall of Fame scene, and the Hardy Boys return. It was all about old people on this show. No young guy from the young roster. No one from No young guy no one from the current roster, did anything tonight. It was all about old guys. That is not good, and that's why I call WrestleMania one of the worst shows of all time. Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, the Hardys, and the Hall of Famers, and the Austin Aries and Neville. The opening cruiserweight match saved this show, and the cruiserweight match wasn't even on the card. That wasn't even good enough to be on the card, and it was the best match of the night. The cruiserweight match. Oh, that's another thing I got to rant on, and that's right, people. This show and the Cena Miz mixed tag team match, that was supposed to top not only Wrestle Kingdom 11, one of the greatest shows of all time. Wiley considered one of the greatest shows of all time. That was supposed to top Wrestle Kingdom 11. That was also supposed to top the great Okada Kenny Omega match. When no match even touches that. No match touches that. No match touches that except for no match touches that except for no match touches that except for Austin Aries, which is the Austin Aries and Neville's only match out that I would say come close to that. That was an awesome match, and that wasn't even good enough to be on the main card. WrestleMania 33 was good because of the part-timers and the quote-unquote old guys, the past wrestling stars. No one from the current roster did anything for me on this show. Everything else was okay. Everything was pretty much the same boring brawl. And the women's match after this, which was Naomi and Alexis Bliss, Becky Lynch and Carmella, Mickie James and Natalya for the six-packs. I didn't even watch this. Nor did I watch Roman Reigns and Undertaker. Like I said, I love Roman Reigns, but like I said, he's not that good of a wrestler. He has the look. He has the look in the entrance and the what's his name? But he's not that good in the ring. He's not that good in the ring, which is one of the reasons he gets booed. Then he gets booed. He's supposed to be a top babyface and he gets booed. And then you got Undertaker, whom I can't stand. Yes, hopefully Undertaker is retired. I don't care that he's gone. Hopefully he stays gone this time. Not like where he's supposed to be retired at WrestleMania 30. He shows up next year to challenge Brock Lesnar again when they promised that guy would stay retired. I already talked about in a previous video why I can't stand The Undertaker. I'll talk more in a later video why I can't stand The Undertaker. And hopefully he stays gone this time around. And I don't care. I didn't care much for this. I didn't tune into this match. Two big untalented big men going at it. I didn't care about the result. And like I said, I'm sick. And I like Roman Reigns, but I'm sick of him getting booed, people. I'm sick of him getting booed. I'm sick, and that kills wrestling. That's one reason I boycott Roman Reigns and John Cena matches. Until Roman Reigns gets over, I am not watching a Roman Reigns match until he gets over. Oh yes, other trash on this card. We had rapper Pitbull and garbage Flo Rida, and I don't remember who the other singer was, performing at this WrestleMania. Another reason I can't stand these WrestleManias, just like with the Super Bowl. This made me stop watching Super Bowls. Getting these terrible singers and rappers to perform at these shows that nobody cares about. Back in the day, we had awesome bands like Drowning Pool, Saliva, Limp Bizkit, Motorhead playing at WrestleMania. Here we get garbage like Flo Rida, Pitbull, and I don't remember the other singers. We get garbage singers like them, man. Yeah. Lame wannabe mainstream rappers and pop singers, garbage, man. We got badass rock and roll bands back in the day, or badass edgy hip hop for a wrestling show, but we get garbage today, like I said. And the crowd was dead. That killed a lot of stuff. The crowd was dead, so waste of money, waste of time, waste of money, and waste of a venue. I think they were in the Citrus Bowl from WrestleMania 28 again. I think they were in that same place again. Because it looks like an updated version of WrestleMania 28. waste of time, waste of money. This is actually one of the many times I can't believe I'm saying it. I prefer the smaller arenas of Impact Wrestling, because at least the crowds were small. This is when smaller crowds, whenever you go to Impact Wrestling or indie show, are good, because since they're small, they are heavily into the stuff and make the stuff epic, man. But like I said, man, this was my review rant on WrestleMania 33. Like I said, probably one of the worst shows of all time, but the part-timers and the past stars, they saved it. I'm done, people.
When the smoke clears, the battle's won. Our heroes born and the cowards have won. When the smoke clears, the dust settles down. We'll be the ones left standing on ground. If you think you're man enough, then step up, level up, get your ass busted up, listen now. When the smoke clears, the ashes fall down. We'll be the ones left running this town. When the smoke clears, we'll be the ones standing our ground. When the smoke clears.